Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Let's just dig right into it. Saul Canelo Alvarez and Danny Jacobs are headed to a major showdown on Cinco de Mayo weekend, and Danny Jacobs believes that he's going to knock out Canelo Alvarez. He's basically stating that, he's fully capable of doing this. And, we've kind of covered this a little bit, but people keep requesting this and us to go into this deeper. And at the end of the day, Danny Jacobs is a very talented fighter. And this is something that he said at their most recent press conference in Mexico City. This is a direct quote from Danny Jacobs. 100%, I feel like I can knock out Canelo or stop him. Beat him by technical knockout. Canelo has had a strong opponents, tall opponents, and talented opponent. But he never had all three in one night. And that's what he's going to have against him in the fight with me. And I truly believe this is a 50-50 fight. I think it's going to be Canelo's toughest fight of his career. And just for simply the fact that Danny Jacobs does have all those attributes. Danny Jacobs is a strong opponent, very strong, underrated power, underrated strength. He got Peter Quillin out of there in the first round. Danny Jacobs is a very special fighter. He got Triple G's respect in that fight. Triple G didn't just rush in and try to bum rush Danny Jacobs. He respected Danny Jacobs' power. He's very tall and he's very talented. Danny Jacobs has all of the attributes that any of Canelo Alvarez opponents has, but he has all three bottled in one. So this will be a very tough test for Canelo Alvarez. Now, the question here is, can Danny Jacobs stop Canelo Alvarez? Can he knock him out? Considering that Canelo Alvarez has never been down in a fight, and I've never seen Canelo Alvarez badly hurt in any particular fight. Those are the two key factors that I have to look at. So you have to look at Canelo Alvarez, the fact that he stood up to Triple G's best shots, that he went toe-to-toe with Triple G. A guy who you would say at least hits just as hard as Danny Jacobs, if not harder. I feel like Canelo Alvarez will be able to stand up to a lot of Danny Jacobs shots. But here's where it gets tricky. Triple G was not able to use angles in a different style, and he's not a very accurate fighter when it comes to using different methods to hit you with shots that you don't see. Pretty much any shot that you see from Triple G, you're going to see, and you're going to know it's coming. Triple G is not an elusive fighter, and he's very predictable with sticking the jab and setting up his next shot. That's why Triple G misses so many shots. At the end of the day, Triple G is accurate with the jab, but he's not accurate with hitting you with shots that you don't see, because that's not the type of fighter Triple G is. Now, the type of fighter that Danny Jacobs is, he's stylistically different. So he's going to be able to hit Canelo Alvarez with shots that he doesn't see. And he may hurt Canelo Alvarez in this fight. And I'll give Danny Jacobs that credit, because Danny Jacobs is an elite level fighter. He's a difficult fighter. But just as Danny Jacobs is able to hit Canelo with shots he may not see, just as he's able to hit Canelo Alvarez and may even be able to hurt him, if you look at the other end, Danny Jacobs, and I don't count it against him, the Dimitri Pirog fight, but at the end of the day, he was down in that fight. He did get knocked out in that fight. And that's something that you have to look into. I don't even count the Triple G knockdown really against Danny Jacobs, but that's something you have to look into. So the fact that, Danny Jacobs has been down at least a few times in fights, I feel like Canelo Alvarez, who has elite level body punching, who's going to be a monster on the night of the fight, and who can hit Danny Jacobs with shots that he's never seen. See, not only is Canelo Alvarez facing an opponent at a level that he's never seen, but Danny Jacobs is facing an opponent at a level that he's never seen. Danny Jacobs has never fought on the level of a Canelo Alvarez. He's fought very good opponents, talented opponents, but no one that's ever been this good. No one that's ever had these skills along with this power. So this is a new territory for both of these fighters, not just Canelo Alvarez. So could I see Canelo Alvarez potentially stopping Danny Jacobs as well? Absolutely. I can see that going both ways. I can see both fighters being hurt, but I think that Canelo Alvarez has to have the edge because he's never been down or seriously hurt in any fight. And Canelo Alvarez has actually stood up to a lot of big shots, but there's going to be shots in this fight that he doesn't see. So this is going to be a very close fight, a 50-50 fight, but I have to still edge Canelo Alvarez for the victory. If you think that Canelo Alvarez has a chance of getting stopped or getting the stoppage, please leave your comment. And once again, please share, like, and you must absolutely subscribe.